Hey everyone! I'd love to hear from you. What tool review would you like me to create an in-depth analysis video on? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and I will get started on making the most requested one. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I upload trending tool insights.
Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a second, right? A world where any photo of you, like anywhere, anytime, could just pop up with a simple search. Maybe an old vacation picture, or you're just blurry in the background at a concert.
Yeah.
Or even a work profile you completely forgot existed. Sounds a bit sci-fi, doesn't it?
It really does.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into an AI face search tool called PimEyes, which promises to help you find out exactly that.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is that this tool, it's been described as both this powerful privacy protector and, well, paradoxically, a potent surveillance weapon.
Right.
It's a genuine double-edged sword. And how it's used, well, that really depends entirely on the person holding it, It fundamentally shifts the power dynamic of digital visibility.
So our mission for this deep dive is basically to explore what PimEyes is, how surprisingly accurate it can be, and why it's sparking such intense ethical debates.
Yeah, around consent, privacy.
Exactly. And, the very concept of our digital identity in 2025, you're going to walk away, hopefully, with a clear understanding of this remarkable yet kind of unsettling technology and what it means for you. So what exactly is PimEyes? Let's start there.
Okay.
At its core, it's an online face search engine. It uses artificial intelligence, AI, to find photos of a person across the internet.
Right.
You simply upload a photo of someone's face, and then it scans like millions of websites.
Millions. Everything from personal blogs, news articles, vast image databases. It just crawls everything looking for that face.
And crucially, it's not just looking for file names or tags, right? That's the key difference.
Exactly. That's what makes it so powerful. It actually analyzes the unique biometric features of a face, the distances, the shapes to find visual matches.
Even if the photos are like from different angles or the lighting's bad.
Or even years old. It can still find connections.
Just to give you an idea of the scale here, in May 2025, PimEyes got about, 7.58 million visits?
Yeah, in 1 month.
And its facial recognition database, get this, contains biometric data of roughly 900 million faces.
900 million. Think about that. That's a database larger than the combined populations of Europe and Russia.
Wow. That scale alone, it immediately raises some serious questions, doesn't it, about how it's ethically put together?
Well, yeah. And originally, the company says this tool was built with privacy and identity protection in mind. The idea was to help users find where their own photos appear online.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
But here's the twist, the complexity. Critics argue it raises serious ethical concerns precisely because anyone can search for almost anyone else without their consent.
Okay. So I could upload a picture of, anyone I see on the street.
Potentially, yes.
Yes.
And that's where the alarm bells start ringing for privacy advocates.
That leads us right into PimEyes' raw power and its accuracy. It's consistently described as, unmatched in facial recognition.
Especially when you feed it clear, front-facing images. The results can be startlingly good.
Yeah, I read that in practical tests, this thing has successfully pulled up photos up to 10 years old.
10 years. Even from really crowded places like concerts or airports.
Imagine finding a blurry background shot of yourself from a decade ago. Honestly, that's both incredibly powerful and, a little unnerving.
Definitely unnerving.
I'm pretty sure if PimEyes scanned my college photos, I'd probably need to opt out immediately, just for fashion crimes alone.
Well, one reviewer shared their own test experience, which really highlights its capability. They uploaded a clear photo of themselves.
Right.
And within moments, it returned several accurate matches. Included a work profile, even an old conference headshot they didn't even remember was public.
Wow. So quick and on point.
Exactly. Quick and impressively accurate, confirming just how effective it is.
It also comes packed with some really powerful features. Its reverse face search function is rated like 4.5 out of 5.
And noted specifically as fast and accurate for clear photos.
Then there's the deep web scanning. That's rated even higher, 4.6 out of 5.
Yeah, praised for impressive coverage, including hard-to-find sources, which is interesting.
And it offers multiple ways to search, too. You can upload a photo, use your webcam, or even just paste an image URL, all described as very easy to use.
Makes it very accessible. And someone on Reddit who claimed to work in the field gave some insight into why it's so effective.
Oh, yeah. What did they say?
They said PimEyes scrapes open source intelligence images, OSINT. Then it applies facial hashing and vectorization.
Okay, breaking that down, hashing and vectorization.
It's basically transforming the unique features of a face into a unique mathematical code, like a digital fingerprint.
Gotcha.
And then it indexes these fingerprints in a searchable hierarchy. So it's a very sophisticated process, and that's why it usually finds the actual person, not merely someone who looks similar.
Right, it's looking for that unique code, not just general likeness. But it's not perfect, you mentioned.
No, definitely not flawless. Like any AI, it has limitations. You get occasional false positives.
So it thinks someone else is you because you look vaguely similar.
Exactly. Or false negatives, where it completely fails to recognize a match, maybe because the photo quality is really poor or the person's appearance has changed significantly.
Okay, makes sense. But this incredible power, well, it obviously isn't without its shadows, right?
Absolutely.
Let's dig into that double-edged sword in action. The use cases and maybe more importantly, the big concerns it raises.
Okay.
On the helpful side, people are using it for personal privacy monitoring, seeing where your face pops up.
Right, managing your digital footprint.
And brand or reputation management, maybe for public figures, tracking how their image is used. Investigative journalism, too.
Yeah, identifying people for stories or fact-checking images. It's also used, apparently cautiously, in background verification for recruitment.
Oh, interesting. And for image takedown requests. So if your photo is somewhere you don't want it to be.
Correct. But then there's a particularly, let's say, intriguing and controversial use case that often comes up. Using PimEyes to search for publicly available photos of someone. Maybe to check for signs of dishonesty in a relationship.
Ah, so looking for pictures someone hasn't shared.
Exactly. It won't access private accounts, obviously, but it can surface photos from, say, dating sites or public forums that might raise red flags or lead to some awkward conversations.
Yikes. Okay, this next fact, this just blew me away. The Metropolitan Police in London, they access PimEyes 2,337 times.
2,300 times.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot, according to Freedom of Information data you said.
Yeah, that number alone just speaks volumes about how widely authorities are already using this tool.
It really does.
Does that point to like an acceptance of this gray area we talked about?
No.
Or maybe just a desperate need for tools, even if the legal framework isn't quite there?
It's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
They clearly see its utility, right?
Yeah.
But it really highlights how fast technology is moving, outpacing regulation.
Totally.
What are the checks and balances? Are warrants needed for every one of those 2,337 searches? Or is it just available to investigators?
Good question.
And this kind of unconsented access really underlines the core ethical problem. Anyone can upload anyone's photo. No consent, no proof of identity needed.
Which opens the door to, well, all sorts of misuse. Stalking, harassment.
Yeah, essentially enabling mass surveillance without proper safeguards. That's the fear.
And this puts it squarely in that gray area, legally, doesn't it? Especially in places with strong privacy laws like the EU with GDPR or California's CCPA.
Absolutely. The legal status is murky in many places. And the opt-out process itself is another major point of contention.
Wow, so.
Well, it's manual. You have to actively go and prove ownership of your face, which might not be simple for everyone. How do you prove it's your face to a website?
Yeah, good point.
And there's still questions around data storage. The company claims it doesn't store images permanently, but the transparency about how all that data is handled, it's limited.
Right.
And this lack of control isn't just an issue for the living.
You mean the digital afterlife thing? I saw that Wired article.
Exactly. AI tools like PimEyes, they don't differentiate between the living and the dead. They just index public faces.
So photos of deceased people can keep surfacing without context or consent from family or any way to stop it easily.
Precisely. It raises some really profound ethical questions about our digital legacies, doesn't it?
It really does. There was a quote from Richard Gardner, CEO of Modulus.
Yeah, he warned about this. He said, while we often opt into privacy traps on social media, AI processes such huge amounts of data. It can easily be used to identify people in photos who really don't want to be identified or tagged.
Kind of underscores that idea that once your face is out there digitally, it's incredibly hard to pull it back.
Very hard.
And there's another layer here, Gartner's research, showing a huge jump, 200% in injection attacks in 2023.
Right. Injection attacks, that's where attackers use synthetic facial images, like AI-generated fakes.
Deep fakes, kind of?
Sort of, yeah. To trick or manipulate facial recognition systems. This undermines the whole integrity of face biometrics. It presents new challenges for all these technologies, including PimEyes.
Okay, so with all this power, you're probably wondering about the cost, right? The cost of seeing all. Well, you can run a free initial search, apparently, but all the useful features, they're locked behind subscriptions.
There's no free version in terms of getting actual results, yeah. The sources and links are blurred unless you pay.
So what are the costs like?
There are a few tiers. Open Plus is about $30 a month,
Yeah.
$29.99. Unlimited searches, but no alerts if new photos pop up.
Okay.
Then there's Protect. That's steeper, $89.99 a month. But that includes monitoring, alerts, help with opt-out requests, and PDF reports.
So more for managing your presence actively.
Exactly. And then there's an advanced tier at $299.99 a month, clearly designed for professional investigators. It offers things like CSV exports, historical data access, advanced filters.
Wow, okay, so quite a range. That reviewer you mentioned earlier, what did they think about the pricing?
They felt the cost was a bit steep for just a casual user, which seems fair.
Yeah.
But, they added, for anyone seriously managing their digital identity or reputation, the extra features in that Protect plan could actually provide real value.
Right, depends on your needs. Now, how does PimEyes stack up against other tools like TinyEye or Yandex?
Good question. It's important to see where it fits. When you compare PimEyes to tools like TinyEye, Yandex Search, Social Catfish, or CamFind, its specialization becomes really clear.
How so?
Well, TinyEye and Yandex are primarily reverse image search tools. They find copies of an image you upload, or visually similar images, but they aren't built to zero in on specific faces within those images.
Okay, so they're looking for the whole picture, not the person.
Mostly, yes. Social Catfish is more about finding people using various data points, names, emails, usernames, not primarily through advanced facial recognition like PimEyes.
And CamFind.
CamFind is different again. It focuses on object identification. Like, point your camera at a plant and it tells you what it is, not face searching.
Right. So, bottom line, If your goal is specifically tracking where faces appear online.
Then PimEyes really stands out. It seems to have the most advanced, specific facial recognition tech and the broadest image coverage.
Including those obscure and adult sites you mentioned earlier where other tools just wouldn't look.
Exactly. For pure face searching, it seems to be in a league of its own right now.
So let's try and bring this all together. What does this all mean? PimEyes.
Hmm.
It really shows how facial recognition has jumped from, sci-fi movies straight into our everyday reality.
Yeah.
Spotting old headshots, background cameos. The precision is striking. It's genuinely eye-opening stuff.
It is. Yet that very power that makes it so impressive is also what makes it so unsettling.
Totally.
Anyone can run a search on anyone. Yeah. And that opt-out process, as we discussed, still feels like a bit of an uphill battle. It just raises these huge questions about control and consent.
We've talked a lot about the practical side, the tech, the ethics, but what about the psychological impact? Just knowing your face is searchable, potentially everywhere, by anyone.
That's a really important dimension, the feeling of being constantly, potentially visible, trackable.
Yeah. So thinking about you, the listener, what does this mean for your digital footprint? How do you feel about the idea of your face being searchable online like this, maybe without you even knowing or consenting? And what responsibilities do we have as users, as citizens, in a world where these incredibly powerful AI tools are just becoming more and more accessible?
It's a lot to think about. And there's always more to learn, isn't there, about the implications of these technologies. Hearing multiple perspectives, digging deeper, it really enriches our understanding of this rapidly evolving digital landscape we're all navigating.